struggles every day. Makes me wanna holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I've got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
You know, we need them. Yeah, we do. We need those strategies. Those strategies for living. So are you ready? You ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
I am ready today.
I knew you would be somehow. Hey, folks, welcome. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian. She is psychotherapist, PLPC, Lauren Leon McMillian. And, you know, there are some life strategists that we just look forward to. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I mean, you know, there are some life strategists that have transcended life strategist.
They've gone beyond.
Yeah, and Donesa Walker from LearningRx, Shreveport-Bossier City, is certainly one of those.
Absolutely.
And I love whenever we have Donesa on because we talk about all kinds of interesting things. Usually this time of year, you know, we're headed into summer. And we talk about brain drain, right? No, we're not going to do that today.
Oh, we're not?
No, we're going to talk about brain gain.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah. Do you like the kind of
Yeah.
I mean, it's a real thing, and Denise, so, you know, shine light on it as only she can do. Mm-hmm. But we're going to talk about that today.
You're telling me I can train my brain over the summer.
That's what I'm telling you.
Keep it up.
That's what I'm telling you.
All right.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing that I want to talk about a little bit today, and I think Donesa is going to discuss with us, is brain training for seniors. We talk about brain training for seniors quite a bit.
Yes.
But, you know, I'd like to go into some depth with it today.
Yes,
I mean,
think that's very important.
There are so many stories that Donesa has of people that you and I know.
Yep.
Who have,
really
used...
turned their life around.
Oh, my goodness, yes. And use the technology that is available to us at LearningRx, and it's phenomenal. So we're going to talk about that. And, of course, always with Donesa Walker, there's more.
Oh,
I mean, you
course.
can...
I'm looking forward to today.
You can bake it. Folks, thank you for tuning into Strategies for Living. We appreciate you being with us, and we appreciate our sponsors who make it all possible. LearningRx, Shreveport-Bossier City, the Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing, the Balanced Life Wellness Center, and Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of The Godfather, alligator Italian sausage, and some pretty good muffies, too. Back in a moment. Is it brain drain? No, it's brain gain. Talking about it today with Donesa Walker, our life strategist extraordinaire, here on Strategies for Living.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem trapped. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
Hey, welcome into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian. Let's welcome back, no stranger at all to Strategies for Living, an integral part, as a matter of fact, of Strategies for Living. Donesa Walker, the Executive Director and owner extraordinaire at LearningRx, Shreveport-Bossier.
The brains behind the brains.
The brains behind the brains. Donesa, yeah, I need to get you in here before before I have to roll up my pants leg. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are just so grateful that how many years ago now you decided that you were going to take your educational experience and start bring LearningRx to our area. How many years has it been now, Donesa?
Almost 18. We're celebrating 17 full years of LearningRx in September, starting our 18th year.
That is incredible. Yeah. It's amazing. Well, thank you.
How many lives you've touched over those years.
Yes, yes. And how many people that you probably don't even know. I know you've helped thousands of people through LearningRx, and they've come in and
but then how those people go on to impact other
lives. Yeah. And when you think
about the ripple effect.
Yeah. When you think about that, Donesa, that's just incredible. Overall.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to think about that because, I just think, out of all the thousands who have come to LearningRx and, graduated and, done that, I was looking, just at how many people have come. And I honestly was thinking that it was around, like 1,800, that was in my mind. And so I just looked it up recently and it's 3,500 that have actually attended LearningRx. It's twice as much as what I thought.
Yeah.
People that have attended LearningRx, and then there's, thousands that just came in for the testing and didn't use the intervention. But it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people, and it's exciting over the years. Just, if it had been 100 a year, I was like, okay, well, that'd be 1,800,
right.
But yeah, it's really exciting just to think about how many lives have been on average, 200 a year.
Right.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy to think about. Yeah.
It speaks to the impact, the quality of service that you're providing, that many people have come through and benefited from it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So
100%.
The school bells have rung for the last time on this school year. School's out for the summer, right?
Right.
Lots of the graduates have walked across the stage, gotten their diplomas, on to new and exciting things. And we can rest and relax for the summer. However, our brain.
Our
brain doesn't stop. So what do you really want people to hear? And I love the fact that you are, we traditionally talk at this time of year about summer brain drain, but you're changing it. We're going to talk about summer brain gain today, right?
Yeah, I think the mindset matters. And I think for so long we focus on the negative mindset of, this is what you're losing instead of this is what you can be gaining. And I think that's really what we need to focus on, because it doesn't, when we talk about summer slide and summer brain drain, we tend to focus on how much loss of education that there is for kids in school and, that sort of thing. But we kind of leave the adults out of the mix. And we don't realize that the vegetative state of the body in the summer, because we try to veg from the heat and sit and watch TV instead of getting out so much. And we don't realize that it's affecting the adult brain as much as it is the child's brain. Sure. And we have focused so much. So I think it's more important for us to focus on what we can do to make gains during the summer than it is, and gains all the time, but especially during the summer, instead of focusing on, what may or may not happen as far as loss.
Right. Well, and the summer affords such a wonderful opportunity because we've got more free time. We've got more availability to jump in and learn some things and focus on some things otherwise that we don't have time to do.
And learning can happen in a different way over the summer too, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's more, and it builds that schema if you're more interactive than just in the classroom.
Right.
I was reading a lot recently about what they call cognitive super-agers. And these are people, I want to be a cognitive super-ager. It's someone who they defy wear and tear on their brain, So even though they're as much as, 80 years old, these cognitive super-agers basically have memory capabilities as 20-year-olds. I mean, they are just, that's why they're called super-agers. And so they took, in a recent study, they did a study where they actually did MRIs, functional MRIs on these people to see and to look what brain region, what was keeping them, So, and the interesting thing that they found was that the cingulate cortex, the brain region that's responsible for integration or getting information together with memory, attention, cognitive control, was thicker in the super-agers than it was in their same age peers. And it showed no atrophy in the same brain region. It was just stronger in that, thicker age. I know Lauren's like all into this one because of her studies in the background. But anyways, they started looking and they found that there was this particular type of cell they call the von Economo neuron, and it is related to social intelligence and awareness. And so more of these neurons are there. And I was telling my mom about this because my mom, I consider her a cognitive super-ager because despite brain cancer and all the things that she's had, she is stellar. If you tell her what a day is, this is Memorial Day, and she said, and it's also so-and-so's birthday and so-and-so's anniversary. She's a pastor's wife, so she has this, infinite ability to remember everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's so critical. And I think that's the really big thing is because most brains, as we age, we have an annual volume loss. In a normal cognitive adult, you get volume loss, about 2.5% a year volume in your brain.
In other words, our brain actually shrinks.
They do. Yeah, they actually shrink.
Okay.
And so that's one of the things they go in and they'll say normal. I mean, if you did a scan, they'll say normal shrinkage or, anyways, it was really interesting because in these cognitive super-agers, they had memory recall abilities just like 18 to 32-year-olds. And the distinctive difference was the thickness and the neural networks. It was how big their bigger campus was. And, the hippocampus is where you keep a lot of those things. And so they were trying to establish, okay, what was the different thing about these people than other? What was the difference in the super-agers? Yeah, what was the lifestyle? What was the different? And it was that the lifestyle in the super-agers was people who stayed socially active and they were super hydrators. Basically, they stayed very well hydrated, very active, not only physically, but socially. They stayed super, super socially active.
Right.
And because they realized that social factors can play the role in healthy cognitive aging.
Now, this means getting away from the screen during the summer.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was interesting because when they talked to the people that were, like I said, the super-agers, they were finding that their average time span, I know this is going to give you all a hiccup, but their average time span they spent watching TV was 30 minutes a week.
Oh, wow.
Not a day.
Wow.
A week. Okay. Yeah. That's very, very different than us, And so those theories are basically why they were saying it. So that they had a really high cognitive reserve from not using up their reserve on mindless tasks. They were actively engaged in brain maintenance.
Yeah, and they're doing hobbies. They're
engaging with the community.
Learning things that maybe they've always wanted to learn,
And just keeping going. You know, I have a sweet 92-year-old lady who comes in here, and a lot of the people, she had some stroke, and a lot of the people who come into LearningRx come in and they want it to be quiet. They want to come into the morning where she wants to come in the loft where all the kids are, and she wants to be at the same time, you know, all that activity, and she thrives on it. And I think that is a big thing about building that cognitive reserve and that resilience into, you know, your aging, is staying active and challenging yourself outside the norm. And that doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're 4 or if you're 104, if you're going to stay super, super active in doing that. And that's really, really important, to stay super active for doing that. And keeping your brain, you know, going, just by staying socially active.
Absolutely.
So continuing to push yourself beyond what you know at any age is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely. And outside your comfort zone. I mean, that's the whole thing, is your comfort zone is, you know, learning foreign languages, then that's not the place for you to be working. If your comfort zone is doing Sudoku, you know, it's good for you. That's a little bit of maintenance, but that's not going to really push that, you know, cognitive thickness, that building of that network. And building of that network really means being a little bit uncomfortable when you don't remember somebody's name in a social environment, and just, you know, going ahead and trying to work to remember that name, and, you know, really find yourself as being limitless, like Jim Quick's book. Just, you know, find yourself to really push yourself to that next area.
Absolutely. 8856 Uri Drive in Shreveport. That's where you're going to find LearningRx of Shreveport-Bossier City. And you can always call them, 797-8523, 318-797-8523. We've got lots more to learn here today from Donesa Walker from LearningRx, Shreveport-Bossier City. Don't go away. Stay right where you are. You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
Facing the same old problems day to day makes you wanna holler, get away. Looking for the road that'll get me there. Looking for hope and peace to spare. Looking for strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living.
And welcome back in. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian, along with our life strategist, Donesa Walker, LearningRx of Shreveport-Bossier City. But don't let the moniker fool you, because, you know, you may be listening to us right now. Maybe you're listening on the radio and you're saying, I wish so-and-so could hear this and take advantage. I wish they had a LearningRx close to them. And, you know, now that we're podcasting, I mean, we're reaching people. You may want to pass this on to somebody who lives in, I don't know, Japan or Australia. And here's the neat thing about LearningRx.
They're worldwide. You can train from anywhere, right, Donesa?
We are everywhere. We train all over the world, and it is very cool. I'm actually the #1 center in the world, so that was kind of an honor. Yeah.
Yes. And so now you can get the #1 center in the world in your house, wherever you are in the world, can come to you to train you.
That's right. Yeah. And have a lot of fun doing it. And that's the key, is that it can be so much fun while you're doing it, you know, to do that. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And have so much boost in, you know, your skills and not settle for where you could be, but have your brain gain instead of your brain drain.
And if you're in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, of course, 8856 Uri Drive, down Uri, just past LSU Shreveport, is where you will look for LearningRx, or you can give them a call, 797-8523. And I hope you will do that, because LearningRx and brain training is really, well, let me ask this, Denise. How does this work? Let's, you know, a lot of people have heard us on previous programs talk about it, but we may have some new folks out there listening today. How does brain training work? What actually happens?
So the initial thing that we do is we do an assessment, and the assessment that we're doing now is called the Gibson test. We were giving the Woodcock-Johnson, but as of Jan 1, we will only be given the Gibson test, both digitally and on paper. And that test actually identifies all of the weaker skills that the brain has, or the strengths. So you actually get to look at a full catalog of your strengths and your weaknesses, and then you get to address that to get big brain gain. Sort of like if I went to a personal trainer for my body, and they would do an assessment of where my weaknesses were in my muscle ability, my muscular, lift on the arms and lift on the legs. Well, this is just seeing what your lift is in the different areas of your brain. And then from there, you get your personal trainer who actually works on pushing you a little bit to get more lift. So we have activities you can do at home digitally, in-person practice, one-to-one with a cognitive coach, so that you have a board-certified therapist and specialist who can help you get the most from yourself and push yourself that much further. Because the reality is, when it gets hard, we like to bail. And this one to prevent you from bailing, And so whether you've had a traumatic brain injury or a stroke, or you are, struggling with attention maybe, or, I hear so much of that now. And a lot of that is because of things that we do to ourselves. We dehydrate our brain, or we, are on our phones all the time, or on the digital. And so we create these gaps, and it's, possible and important for us to close those gaps.
Right.
And a lot of us are like, okay, well, we're going to get on and we're going to do this little app on our phone. But the reality is not always is that the best, because you're not getting, one, being consistent with it. Everything else distracts us, right?
Yeah.
And so you're not doing that. And then two, are you really pushing yourself to your max and really getting to the next level?
And I would think a third component there is that social, right? Like you just mentioned
100%.
about cognitive super-agers, how being social and with other people is important. And so that's an aspect of brain training that's an important aspect of brain training. You're one-on-one with another person.
Right. And challenging yourself to your resilient memories.
Yeah.
So your resilient memories are your memories that are still there, but you may not have connected to them in a while. And that was one of the really cool things about the Cognitive Super-Agers, is that they were really able to network back to older memories real easily. So, just seamlessly being able to go back and pull up this data. I mean, honestly, I have teased my mom in the past and tell her, that's a brain fart, because she remembers something that's so, off the cuff, somebody we haven't seen in years, and she'll say, oh, it's their birthday,
Right.
But those are really, really signs of good super-agers, is that they're able to connect those really seemingly non-important facts, factoids, with things that are relevant today. And that's really, really cool. It's a thinker that is going beyond what you're immediately seeing. And that's in the age where we're always worried about, how cognitive function affects us, both in the political, era that we were in, and then both, everything connects. If we just realize that there's so many things that connect to our brain health, our physical health connects to our brain health, and whether we hydrate or not connects to our brain health. I mean, pretty much everything we do connects to our brain health.
Right.
And when we were talking about those cells, they call them Venn cells just for short, but von Economo cells, they're a type of neuron. But when we're talking about those, one of the really rare and fascinating things about those is that they're associated with not only our decision making, but with empathy and intuition. I would guess more females than males. No, I'm just teasing, guys.
I'm listening.
Just so I can give you a hard time, right? But a lot of times that people call these the orchestra conductors of our brain. They basically monitor all the processes, and they are the cells that make quick, intuitive judgment. And these cells are, critical because they're connectives in our brain, and they're only present in what we call large mammals, like gorillas, whales, elephants, chimpanzees. Anyways, they're only, and these cells are really important for us because they are not as well known as the mirror neurons,
right?
But there is 100 trillion neurons in our brain, and only about 300,000 are this type of neuron.
Wow.
So, go ahead.
This is amazing stuff when you stop and think about it. That we can take a brain and that we can do this. But it's like so many of us don't understand how pliable the brain is. It's only recently that we're understanding neuroplasticity, right? Yeah.
Right, and the connectivity and how it is. I mean, you think about what is the difference in, I'm just going to say, in Shreveport-Bossier to Dallas, Texas. I mean, you have an enormous amount of people in that area. Therefore, you have to have, an enormous amount of freeways and connections and cross connections where people can turn around and change their mind and do all these. Well, that's what these cells are known for. And that's how we grow these cells. So to grow these cells in our body, you're born with only a certain number of them. You can grow them. You got them by the time you're, a little bitty baby before you're even born. They're in your brain. Then you can grow these cells by giving them the right materials and tools. And so that's the thing is like, let's get some brain gain by stimulating these cells. Let's have family game nights. Let's get out there and make more connections with people in the summer, not just sitting, inside our air-conditioned house playing video games or watching, TV or, vegging out. I know those things are nice to be able to do that.
Sure.
But the connectivity is critical for that brain growth and actually helps prevent things disorders such as Alzheimer's and dementia.
I want my neural pathways to be like Dallas-Fort Worth instead of no diss intended, but I want Dallas-Fort Worth neural pathways instead of Ringgold.
Right, pathways. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we want more connectivity, and the more connectivity we have, the more efficient we are at the task. I mean, people accuse me of being a prime networker because I like to connect people. But part of that connection is because I enjoy being around other people.
Yeah.
And I would love to be a cognitive super-ager. I want to be someone who is known for keeping that active social network in my brain up.
Yeah.
I think it's really neat how that mirrors outward. You know, more connectivity in the brain is made by connection, by and through connecting outwardly.
Right. And getting out there, and this is the whole thing, is just the more that we want to grow our brain is by forcing ourselves to get outside of what is the comfort zone.
Okay, yeah.
So that's kind of the biggest challenge. Is like, you know, I speak to a lot of people across the area, you know, about how important it is to hydrate your brain and how important it is to, you know, take the right nutrients and the lion's mane and the, you know, all these different things. But the real key to this is the social networking and helping people to connect so that we can actually get those sales that are growing faster and become more super-agers, more of us that have of that skill set, you know?
Yeah. And it's available.
And that knowledge.
It's available to all of us. All you got to do is reach out. Reach out to 318-797-8523. That's LearningRx of Shreveport-Bossier City.
The best in the world.
Best in the world, number one. And so wherever you are, I mean, the brain training can be,
in your home.
In your home, with one-on-one brain training from right here in Shreveport at the number one LearningRx. 8856 Uri Drive, 797-8523. We've got more. We've got a whole lot more to learn today, as we always do when we bring Donesa Walker here as our life strategist. We pack it in. Come back with us. More strategies for living to come. Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center. You know, I say it a lot. There's no place like the Robinson.
Absolutely, there is not.
617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. You've got so much. You got the movies. You got Abby Singer's Bistro on the second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday.
Newly remodeled.
Absolutely. Great menu. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is the way you check it all out. You can go to RobinsonFilmCenter.org at any time and find out what movies are showing. Here's the deal. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. When you become a member, you become a star. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. I'll say it again. There's no place like the Robinson.
There is not, and I'm glad we have one right here.
Absolutely. The RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donesa Walker with LearningRx Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending, LearningRx Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call LearningRx Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child, so does LearningRx Shreveport.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies for living radio.
And we're back. Welcome back with us here on Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian, and Donesa Walker from LearningRx, Shreveport-Bossier City, 8856 Uri Drive in Shreveport. 318-797-8523 is the way to connect with Donesa Walker. 318-797-8523. And, of course, you can find her online and find out all about LearningRx Shreveport-Bossier. Just Google it, and you'll get right to the website. Lots of camps and exciting things coming up this summer, Donesa.
We do. We have a ton of fun camps that we're having. So we have the Chill and Read bingo board that's available now that anybody can come out and participate in that. And that's excellent and a lot of fun. And we have the adult board too for you two who want to get out there and reading for the adults. So no excuses, fun prizes for learning to read or just reading, because it activates your brain and builds that linguistic part of the brain and that connectivity. And it gets you out here to socialize with us and get a little bit of brain growth from that. We also have the summer brain camps that we're doing at Word of God Academy. We're doing it at their elementary campus, but we have an elementary students, K-5. We're doing that one on June 2nd through the 5th. We're doing a camp for special needs students,
Wonderful.
K through 12 special needs students, June the 9th through the 12th. And then we have the middle school camp, 6th to 8th grade, June 23rd through June 26th. And then the high school students, we're doing a camp July 14th through 17th. That's an executive functioning camp. So that's all about how to take notes, how to study, how to get prepped for your ACT.
That's so important.
And just... It is so important as we get to those ages. So also those camps are based on what grade your child is going into for next year, not this current year. So the camps are $199 right now. And so that is for the 4 days. They're half days, 9 to 12, 4 days a week.
Wow.
And so that's going to be a lot of fun for students to do. There's a max of 10 kids per camp. So you need to get signed up quickly.
All right. Can you get more information on your Facebook page?
You can. We have a Facebook. We actually have under the events section on our Facebook page each of those camps where you can actually go right there and sign up for the camp. Right there is a QR code there, and you can sign up immediately right there on the page,
Right.
which makes that nice to do that. So we do.
Shreveport is the Facebook.
It is LearningRx Shreveport. Yep, absolutely. And yeah, lots of fun activity. And then we have the Cranium Camp. The Cranium Camp is only available during the summer, and that is one of my favorite things. The Cranium Camp is for all ages. It is still one-to-one delivery, but it is a discounted program, intensely delivered over summer because it's all focused on brain gain, on getting your brain fit and getting it where you want it to be. And so I love that we're able to do that and get that moving in the direction that we want it to move. So that one is 32 hours of intensive, so 21 sessions, hour and a half each session of intensive fitness. So if you can come 5 days a week for 4 weeks and get fit like a really intense camp, or you can stretch it out a little bit longer than that if you'd like to. But it is great. It is a wonderful camp. Because I hear a lot of people go, well, I have different plans this summer and I can't do it. You can figure it out. You can figure out a way to do it. That's why we customize.
Yeah.
And that camp is available virtually also. So we do that one both in person and virtually because it is a one-to-one camp.
Right.
The other camps are not available virtually.
I mean, talk about getting your student ready for the next school year and taking, we all know, and I don't want to get bogged down into this, but we all know the last few years what we've lost through COVID and stuff like that. So to be able to catch up and get ahead going into the next school year. This opportunity.
It is. It's a really cool experience. Yeah, it's a really cool experience to be able to do it. It was really a joy this year to be able to look at all of the different graduates through the years that we've had that are actually graduating high school, graduating college, graduating medical school. I was asked recently to come and white coat a student. So I just am really, really impressed of how many of our grads have gone on to do amazing things. I think about it, even my own boys, I have a son who's a state trooper. I have one who's a pilot, and, they did LearningRx when they were little, and it was a game changer for them. So I do know how much it makes a huge difference when they're little and when they're, middle-aged like I was, and the hospital and having all kinds of issues, and coming back and getting my own brain fitness on was such a game changer for me after, 8 months in the hospital with sepsis. Getting your skills back is incredible.
Absolutely.
And then, and then I see my seniors that I love, Dr. Bird, Miss Pam. They are just perfect. She just said, you need to live life in full bloom. That's what she tells me. You need to live life in full bloom. And that means that there's no reason to sit back and not have that ability. And this is from an 82-year-old woman who is just full of energy out there. And she's one of those super-agers we're talking about. She really, really believes in I haven't done a brain scan of her brain, but I can tell you from working with her, she's one who really takes it to that next level. She's all about connectivity and social interaction, and
she's
keeping her brain fit.
Economo.
There you go.
Yeah, she got the immune cells going on for sure. Yeah,
you've also got a family game night coming up, don't you?
We do. We have a family game night that's going to be coming up towards the end of the summer. We do it every 6 months. It's something that you do have to sign up for in advance, since we only take 14 families. And it packs up really quick. So be watching the Facebook page for that event, because it will be coming up and it will fill up quickly. So that is one that we'll do. Although school is starting so early this year, it's kind of hard to believe that it's really racking up. And I think it just gets earlier every year. I think that's what happens. It just gets earlier and earlier every year. But I think I was talking to someone the other day, and they were like, teachers are going back like on the 11th and students on the 13th of August.
Wow.
So really quick. So that means we'll probably be using that first week of August for our family game night to set that up, that very first Friday on August the 1st.
All right. Now, getting started with this, folks, is simple. It's just picking up the phone, dialing 318-797-8523. Donesa is available for you. She'll answer any questions. She and her staff, I don't think you can ask them a question about your brain that they won't be able to answer or be able to find the answer. But you gotta move. It's your move now. 318-797-8523, or visit them at 8856 Uri Drive in Shreveport, just past LSUS. You will be glad that you did. I promise you that. LearningRx, Shreveport-Bossier City, 318-797-8523. Donesa Walker will be right back to wrap up our conversation today about your brain. It can be a brain gain this summer, and it's pretty easy with LearningRx of Shreveport-Bossier City. Be right back.
From the bayou to your table, we're keeping it alive with flavors from the family, passed down to survive. The Godfather's here with a twist in the tail, alligator Italian sausage, and it sure won't fail. It's the boss of the bayou, a taste you can't refuse. Italian tradition, Cajun infused. Godfather sausage, bold and true. The Padres bringing the bayou to you.
Get the Godfather alligator Italian sausage only at Fertitta's Delicatessen, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport. Pick up a muffy while you're there. The Godfather alligator Italian sausage. It's a taste you can't refuse. Sold only at Fertitta's, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport. Dealing with stress, pain, feel like you're running out of options? When your life is balanced, wellness is a given. True wellness is holistic. It's about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all in balance. Now, there's a place right here in Shreveport that's all about helping us achieve peak mental, emotional, and physical health. The Balanced Life, 117 Kings Highway, right next door to Strawn's. Come see and feel the difference getting your life in balance can be. Many of your friends and neighbors have already learned the difference less stress and pain mean in their lives. You can book a discovery session right now online, thebalancedlife.us. All you've got to lose is stress, pain, or maybe both. Come see and feel for yourself the real difference balanced wellness makes. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway in Shreveport, next door to Strawn's. Thebalancedlife.us. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Yeah, that's it. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian, along with Donesa Walker from LearningRx of Shreveport-Bossier City, 8856 Uri Drive in Shreveport, 318-797-8523. Donesa, we always pack so much into strategies each and every time you come. What do you want to leave us with?
Well, the important things is that brain gain is just the urgent thing that we want to aim for, because we want to be a cognitive super-ager. We don't want to be someone who's struggling. And so I think that starts when you're little and it goes all the way through your life. That cognition and cognitive training needs to be a lifestyle. Yes. So we need to embrace it, just like we think it's important to go out and exercise our bodies, that we need to embrace exercising our brain as a lifestyle, no matter how old we are, and not to let the summer just be veg out summer, but let's keep our brains hydrated. Let's get off that media and let's get out and socialize and build our Venn cells up so that they're strong and can make us be a cognitive super-ager.
And the best
get out here and get a test.
Yeah. Come get an assessment. It's as easy as picking up the phone, calling 318-797-8523. Then you know. Mm-hmm. Then you know where you are, and you get a baseline. And if you like, you'll also get a program offered to you to improve that. Donesa Walker, thank you. Thank you so much for all that you do. And thank you for always being a great life strategist here on Strategies for Living.
Well, I appreciate the socialization. It's so good for my brain.
There you go. Folks, thank you. Thank you for tuning into Strategies for Living. We're glad to do this each and every day for you. And we can do it because of our wonderful sponsors. Sponsors like LearningRx of Shreveport-Bossier, the Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing, the Balanced Life Wellness Center, and Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, alligator Italian sausage, and some pretty good muffies too. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Donesa Walker, for Lauren Leon McMillian, I'm David McMillian. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.